The term golden team or golden generation is one given to a talented group of players of similar age from one nation or club. In England, the term is synonymous with the English national team of the 2000s, who former FA chief executive Adam Crozier gave the tag to in the early 2000s. This seven is looking only at international golden generations, so there's no place for the great Ajax or Manchester United academy graduates of the 1990s, for example. They are ranked from A to U by the quality of the players, their individual accomplishments, and their collective achievements as a national team. Here are our 7 famous golden generations ranked from A to U. The Ivory Coast, 2006 to 2015, D. Pelé once boldly predicted that an African team would win the World Cup before the turn of the millennium. He was wrong, of course, but the Ivory Coast should probably have come close less than a decade later with the impressive squad they had at their disposal. They qualified for their first ever World Cup in 2006, but put in a poor showing, before doing likewise in 2010 and 2014. They produced players such as Yaya Touré, Didier Drogba, Kolo Touré and Gervinho during this period. As such, they deserve some credit for their talent, and the likes of Drogba and the Touré brothers achieved a great deal individually, but as a group, they never even got out of the group stages of a World Cup. They did finally have something to show for their quality though, when in 2015 they won the African Cup of Nations. Belgium, 2013 to the present day, C. The only golden generation which has not yet reached its end in this 7, Belgium are not historically a great national team, and currently have their most gifted group of players ever. The likes of Thibaut Courtois, Toby Alderweireld, Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku are all talented individuals, as are Vincent Kompany and Eden Hazard, who both won major trophies with their clubs. That's enough to just about score this current Belgium squad a C, but they can't be ranked any higher. As a collective group, they've been knocked out of the quarter-finals of the World Cup and the European Championships, but had very easy routes to that stage, with Hungary and the USA the only teams they've beaten in knockout games. England, 2001 to 2006, C+. The start and end dates of England's golden generation could be stretched as far as the end of the 1990s right up until the 2014 World Cup, but the bulk of that talented group were in their prime between 2001 and 2006. The strongest of England's squads was probably at Euro 2004. Some of the standout players of England's so-called golden generation included Michael Owen, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Ashley Cole, John Terry and Rio Ferdinand. Almost all of England's regular starters throughout this 5-year period had superb trophy-laden club careers. The Three Lions reached 3 consecutive quarter-finals, losing to eventual champions Brazil in 2002, eventual finalists Portugal in 2004, and the Portuguese once more in 2006. Their talent was undeniable, but failure to even reach the semi-finals of a major tournament means they only score a C+. Austria, 1931 to 1938, B+. Turning the clock back to the 1930s, and Austria were probably Europe's first great golden generation. Between 1931 and 1938, Austria had a fine group of players known as the Wunder team, which included the likes of Josef Bican and Matthias Schindler. They had a team of great players, and they certainly played great football, but they sadly never got their hands on football's greatest prize, the World Cup. Austria won the Central European International Cup in 1932, the precursor to the European Championships, and most likely would have won the World Cup in 1934, were it not for a string of dreadful decisions going against them in the semi-final against the host nation of Italy. Austria's Wunder team qualified but didn't take part in the 1938 World Cup due to Nazi Germany's annexing of the nation just months before the tournament. Hungary, 1950 to 1956, A. The top 3 of this 7 all recently featured in our top 7 greatest national teams of all time. Yes, that was a shameless plug. And we start with Hungary's side of the early to mid 1950s. Sometimes referred to simply as the Golden Team, or as the Magical Magaias, how could we possibly leave Hungary out of this 7? Puskás, Kocsis and Kubala were just 3 players from this side who were magnificent individuals and enjoyed great success with Real Madrid and Barcelona respectively. Other stars of that squad included Zoltán Tibor and Nandor Hajdguti. Like Austria, they never won a World Cup, losing the 1954 final to West Germany. Had they won that game, they'd be an A-star, but as they lost it, we have to limit them to just an A. France, 1998 to 2006, A-star. Unlike England or Hungary's golden generations, which failed to turn quality into trophies, France's golden generation had no such problems. A crop of players which included some of the world's most gifted footballers at that time, such as Zinedine Zidane, Thierry Henry, Laurent Blanc, Didier Deschamps, Eric Cantona, Patrick Vieira, Marcel Desailly, Robert Perez and more, they went on to win both the World Cup and the European Championships. Their first success in 1998 came on home soil, as they defeated Brazil 3-0 in the World Cup final, before beating Italy 2-1 in the Euro 2000 final. After a shocking 2002 World Cup, France reached the final in 2006, where they were beaten by Italy. Spain, 2008 to 2012, A-star. Spain's recent golden generation is one of the most successful groups of players at club and international level that the game has ever seen. While Spain had some decent teams over the years, they'd always been international football's nearly men, and they'd never assembled a truly great squad. That had all changed by 2008. Spain's squad, predominantly made up of Barcelona and Real Madrid players, included such stars as Iker Casillas, Andres Iniesta, Xabi Alonso, Sergi Busquets, Cesc Fabregas, Juan Mata, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Ramos, Carles Puyol, Fernando Torres, David Villa, and many, many more. They won the European Championships in 2008, their first victory in the competition for 44 years, beating Germany in the final. Going into the 2010 World Cup, Spain were big favourites, despite having never progressed beyond the quarter-finals at a World Cup, although they did finish fourth in 1950, under a different format. They were a class apart, and despite aggressive tactics used by Holland in the final, Spain won their first World Cup. They cemented their place as one of the greatest national teams ever at Euro 2012, thrashing Italy 4-0 in the final to make it 3 consecutive major trophies. So that's it for our 7. But as there are more than 7 others who could have made this list, rather than do honourable mentions, we'll make a part 2 if this video does well. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC Sevens.